This program is proudly brought to you by Sportingbet.
I'm Nick Quinn and welcome to the latest edition of Australia's newest racing show, Chewin the Fat. Tomorrow, there are 10 races at Caulfield and the only thing bigger than the race meeting is our program today. We'll go through the Caulfield Cup and tell you why each runner can and can't win. Darley is winning every race in the country at the moment and we're joined in the studio by one of the key men behind the success, Melbourne trainer Paul Snowden. Chewin the Fat heads out to Caulfield, Moonee Valley ahead of next week's Cox Plate, and Werribee to check in on all the international runners. But before we get into all the form, a very warm welcome to my tanned co-host, Natalie Hunter. Natalie, how are you?
Very well, very relaxed after my holiday. And I heard you had a good week with Bree last week.
Bree was a fantastic guest and she'll be joining us again next week. So there's been plenty of emails coming through hoping that Edward and I move out and Bree can move in.
She's a very nice girl, Bree, and a big week for her this week being the face of Caulfield.
Yes, and it's going to be a great day out at Caulfield tomorrow where hopefully there's a few winners. Edward, you got a few winners up your sleeve, do you?
I am, Nick, but I'm going to hold it until after the ad break later on in the show. I've got plenty up my sleeve though for this week. It's a terrific card of racing on Saturday. As you'd expect, it's Caulfield Cup Day. Yeah,
it should be good. And what about yourself, Natalie? Some nice, interesting letters for us later on to get
Yeah, I think there are a couple of interesting emails. There's one in particular.
What, Charlotte, was it? Or
Little Charlotte's written in, Nick. So you might have a date this weekend at the Caulfield Cup. But seriously, I'm looking forward to this episode because I'm looking forward to firming up who I'm going to tip this weekend and really looking forward to hearing what you both think.
Well, that's to look forward to, definitely. I've got a few roughies up my sleeve, I think, also, Nat.
Oh.
I think if you don't like December draw, if you like December draw and something in a trifecta or first four, any of the exotics, I think the Caulfield Cup's a really good betting race.
You might be able to give Charlotte a tip. That'd be nice.
I think we might cut to a break and when we return, be joined on the couch by Paul Snowden.
Sportingbet is built by punters for punters, so you get the very best experience. At Sportingbet, you can expect more from the latest in customised betting with black books, favourites and iForm. Plus, Sportingbet covers all the exotics, including trifectas, quinellas, exactas and first four. Bet fast online or at sbet.mobi on your mobile, anytime, anywhere. That's why there's no better bet than a Sportingbet.
BMW Caulfield Cup, October 15, Spring's pinnacle of racing. Pre-book tickets now.
Welcome back to Chewin the Fat. We're now joined on the couch by our studio guest for today, Paul Snowden, head of the Melbourne Darley operation. Paul, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Nick.
No, thank you for coming and congratulations on the fantastic win of Helmet in last week's Caulfield Guineas.
Yeah, it certainly was a great day. Obviously, the horse turned up and he was the best one, and you know he's the main flag bearer really for Helmet Sepoys for the rest of the spring.
And early on in the campaign, a few little things were going a bit wrong with Helmet. There was a few little issues, but you guys always looked like you were still confident that come grand final day he'd be right, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, the turnaround that the horse has had in the last month really has been astronomical. You know, he was, even in the Golden Rose, he's still done things wrong, and you know, it led to his defeat on the day. So from that turnaround to the Guineas prelude was massive, and again it was good to see him do the right thing again last Saturday.
That was the fastest Guineas ever, Paul, that we saw on Saturday, one of the best Guineas in my time of racing. How's he pulled up from it?
He's pulled up great, mate. I can't fault the horse. He's eaten well, he's doing well in himself, he's bright in the eye. Hopefully we can get to a Cox Plate and be very competitive.
And the three-year-olds in this decade have got a good record in the Cox Plate as well.
Yeah, they have. You know, obviously there's a lot of build up to the day, and barriers play a major role in that. But there looks to be 2 or 3 genuine speedsters in the race, and I think he's a better horse ridden off the speed, and if we can get a chance to do that, I'm sure he'll run very well.
Before the campaign, when you were very confident and upbeat about him, but he was on race day doing a few things wrong, what gave you the confidence? What was so special about him?
It's very frustrating to see the horse do that on race day, because he doesn't give no indication like that at home that he's going to do anything like that on the day. So he's very quiet, very relaxed, and it's just very, very bad to see him do that, because we know what he can do at home. And just the relief, especially watching Dad and being with him after that prelude win, just gave us a lot of confidence that he would never do it again. We were sure that he only had to do it once right, and he would never do it, the other way that he's been doing it again before. So, that aspect of it was great.
So do you think those quirks are now out of his system a little bit?
I think so. We took him to Moonee Valley this morning, and Dad said he went around it like he would normally go around Flemington, and that's a big bonus leading into a race like that. He's got to be better again in the Cox Plate.
Is there something about the Melbourne way of going that suits him?
There could be. There's a lot of factors. Obviously it's been well documented that we've been jumping the horse and schooling, but we don't do a lot of it. We feel, if you do such things, it'll work against you at the end of the day. You'll get too used to it and things like that. So you've got to keep that up your sleeve, and we don't abuse it that way. But maybe the combination of that, a little bit of extra work, he's stepping up in distance, so he's going to cop a little bit extra and the Melbourne direction.
What's his grand final for the campaign? Was it the Guineas or is it the Cox Plate?
Yeah, it always was centred around last Saturday in the Guineas, but always sort of left a little door open just in case something like this did eventuate, and it has presented it to us. So, we've got to be realistic and put the horse first, and at the moment he's telling us that we should go.
And will this be his last run for the campaign?
I'd imagine so, yeah.
And of course, Sepoy, that was terrific in the Manikato when he just beat top sprinters like that.
Yeah, look, he's an amazing horse. He's got better and better since the 2-year-old days, and he's in again on Saturday, and he's definitely going to be hard to beat again.
And after Saturday, is that the Coolmore then after then?
Definitely, yep.
Run with the Coolmore, and you might have a very valuable onlook at that day on Coolmore Day.
Yeah, look, that's the plan, hopefully. We try to get as many runners as we can on that day. The boss seems to come over. He must like that day, because he was there last year and he thoroughly enjoyed himself, and hopefully he can be back here again.
We are talking about the Sheik, the head of Darley. Have you spoken to him much personally, or had anything to do with him personally?
Yeah, I've met him a couple of times. He's quite a relaxed gentleman, and goes about his business, and he's always, has been well publicised. He loves his horses, and that's what he's here to see.
How many horses could you potentially have on Derby Day?
I think last year we had about 10 runners, so we'll probably hopefully be around. It's a mean feat just to get 10 runners on the day, because it is the hardest racing of the calendar year as far as racing goes. All the best horses are there, and we got 10 there last year and they all ran terrific. We ended up getting a couple of winners on the day, so if we can get around the same numbers, we'll be happy with that.
Is there a little temptation just to put Sepoy and Helmet to one side for the day, so he doesn't go, oh geez, I like that one, I might take it back with me?
Unfortunately, they're a bit more exposed than that, so he's seen their progression through this preparation and listened very closely as to how they've been going, so I think he's keen to see them in the flesh.
How much longer do you think Australian racing fans will get to witness those two?
That's the biggest thing. We've got to wait and see what happens in the next month or so, and then a decision will be made sort of after probably the carnival's over and leading into the autumn with these. Potentially,
though, could the next week's Cox Plate be Helmet's last run for you guys?
Well, that's the $1 million question. There's always, as I said, we've changed a lot of things around. Depends whether they want to run the horses in the UK or Dubai. That's what comes down to it, pretty much.
On a more personal level, you're obviously the son of Darley head trainer Peter Snowden. What's it been like growing up in a racing family?
It's been pretty hard. Dad's a pretty hard marker. He's been a big worker all his life. He's worked very hard for where he's got to today, and you're soon taught the right ways about how he wants things. So it's been good in a way, but it's been great for me to be branching off and come down to Melbourne. Seems to give me a little bit more structure in life, and I've learnt definitely a lot more down here than what I could up there with him.
What have you learned from him?
There's a lot of aspects of it, Edward, as you would know, but just how to read horses. Obviously, I'm not doing a lot of the riding these days. I'm looking at them sort of on the ground, and it's a very hard thing to do, but I feel I'm getting better each week, and you know, I think the results are speaking for that.
Without getting too far ahead of ourselves, hopefully Sepoy can win again on Saturday, and hopefully can win the Coolmore. And the $1 million question, will he take on Black Caviar?
Again, who knows? Who knows? If it happens here or overseas, that's one race we're definitely going to be, everyone's going to be waiting to watch, see what happens there. But look, we're just taking one race at a time with this guy, and we're on track as to where our main target is, the Coolmore, and hopefully we can get away with the win.
And so the Patnack is sort of, you'll reassess after the Coolmore?
Definitely. As like Helmet, we've got that target race, and then the horse will tell us after that.
The other potential could be the first time you do meet is down the famous Ascot Straight.
Exactly right. You know, there's a big temptation that the horse, Sepoy will be there, and obviously the mare if she goes over as well. And
you grew up riding a lot of horses in track work when the family worked for the Hawks stable, and one of those horses was Lonhro. How would you compare Lonhro, Helmet and Sepoy? Two
of them are chestnut, one of them is black. But look, they're both, all three horses have got their own unique quality about them. Lonhro was more of he was just a smart, you know, he could talk if he wanted to. He was a very, very intelligent horse. You know, it's probably a little bit unfair to compare them to each other, but they all had their little faults and quirks, but they've all got plenty of ability, the three of them, and they're all very smart.
Who's your favourite?
My favourite was a horse called Freemason, and I used to travel around Australia with him because he was a very hard horse to hold, and I got to see a bit of the country with him, and he was probably my favourite. He had a lot of injuries when he was racing, and you know, he'd butter up every carnival, and he'd be hard to beat.
Was there one special win with Freemason that still stands out?
Oh, the BMW, 100%. The day he beat Northerly was very, very satisfying.
And just one final question, Paul. What's been your best moment in racing?
There's been a few. I've been very lucky. I've been involved in a lot of good horses that have come out of Crown Lodge, but probably, you know, winning the slipper with Sepoy as Dad, the head trainer, it was a pretty special moment.
Now, the Caulfield Cup's the big race Saturday, one of the few races I think you won't be winning in 2011. Do you have a fancy for the race?
Look, I really like the favourite, December Draw. I think if he can run the trip out, I think it's a walker, will shoe in.
Yeah, okay. Geez, that's a very good push then from the man who has won just about everything else in 2011. So thank you very much for joining us, Paul. You've been a fantastic guest.
Yeah, thank you very much, Paul. Really appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Beautiful. We'll take a short break, and when we get back, we'll preview the rest of the 2011 Caulfield Cup.
BMW Caulfield Cup, October 15, Spring's pinnacle of racing. Pre-book tickets now.
Welcome back to Chewing the Fat. Race 8 is the Group 1 BMW Caulfield Cup over 2,400 metres. The track conditions are really important and looking good at this stage. Fine weather, the rail's out 6 metres for the entire circuit, and a dead 4 rating. Boys, what do you think about the conditions for this weekend?
Well, last week we had, it seemed to be an on-pace bias. I think no one really came from well back in the field on last Saturday, but I was at uni yesterday, Nat, so I didn't get a chance to catch the races, but Nick did. Nick, was there any apparent track bias yesterday?
I thought the track on Wednesday played very fairly. I think most races, the best horse won. With Caulfield, I do think you'd normally like to be sort of in the speed or midfield, but what races is that not an advantage with. So I think it'll play very fairly come Caulfield Cup Day.
All right, let's have a look at an early market, thanks to Sporting Bet. Number 1 is the first of the international raiders from Hong Kong, Mighty High, trained by John Moore and ridden by Hall of Fame jockey Darren Beadman from Barrier 1. It's paying $13. What do you guys think of this one?
Well, I think he can win. He's a Group 1 winner over 2,400 metres in Hong Kong. In fact, that Group 1 that he did win in Hong Kong was his last run over there before he came over here. So he's proven at the distance. George Moore caught up with him at Werribee through the week, Nat, and he said that this is his ideal distance. Darren Beadman's obviously top jockey, and I like his 2 runs that he's had over here, including last week at Caulfield.
Any reason he can't win?
I think the 57 kilos is going to be a problem. Has been hitting the line nicely. I don't think Barrier 1 will be ideal either. I think that could potentially cause some traffic problems before the turn.
Okay, let's have a look at number 2, one of 2 Luca Kamani horses, Drunken Sailor, ridden by Dwayne Dunn, paying $21.
Well, he beat Jukebox Jury when he won a Glorious Goodwood in England earlier in the year, Nat, and that's obviously top form coming over here. And the connections have really been talking up this horse, saying that of the 4 Kamani horses that have come over here for this year's carnival, he's the best one.
Okay, Nick?
I think Drunken Sailor is probably the worst of the Kamani horses from what I've seen. I thought he was bitterly disappointing last start when flopping in England. He came out here last year and disappointed, and I think $21 is gross unders from barrier 18 in Saturday's Caulfield Cup.
Doesn't have much good to say about him, does he?
Well, he had plenty of weight when he in that last start effort in the UK, so I think we can forgive him that. No, I'm quite keen Drunken Sailor.
Okay, all right. Number 3, Managar, another Luca Kamani horse, ran 5th in this race last year, ridden by Damien Oliver and at $26.
Look, I'm just going, I'd like Managar more of the 2 Kamani horses running at Caulfield on Saturday. He ran 5th, as you mentioned, Nat, last year in the Caulfield Cup. He ran really well each start he had over here. And speaking to Damien Oliver through the week, who said that he's a better horse, a more mature horse this time around. And I think also if he could run 5th last year in the Caulfield Cup, this is a weaker race, and he's a better horse, so I would expect a better performance from him.
Do you agree, Nick?
Oh, well, I agree that he's a good chance, but I'm doing the why they can't win. And I think the reason why they can't win is Managar might be more dour this time around, and I think will be much more suited to the 2 miles come Melbourne Cup Day. So I think it's more of a Melbourne Cup than a Caulfield Cup chance this time around.
Okay. Number 4, Unusual Suspect, imported from the US, trained by Michael Kent, ridden by Nash Rawiller, paying $81. Edward?
He's a Group 1 winner in the US over 2,400 metres on turf, so he's proven at the distance and at Group 1 level. I liked his run in the Dado Tan Chinnam first up over here. He ran 4th in that race, but he did have a couple of issues at Cranbourne last week in the Cranbourne Cup, so I'm hoping he's got over those, and if he has, I think he's right in the mix.
Mr. Negativo over there?
Well, I'm not being negative. I'm just trying to explain why horses don't win. I just don't know if this horse's Unusual Suspect is quite good enough. I think there's plenty I'd have ahead of him.
Okay. The next horse, Lucas Grenache at number 5. First time Anthony has had a runner in this race. His brother Lee has won it 4 times before. He's being ridden by Corey Brown and paying $8.50. I like this horse.
He's the second favourite in the race, Nat, behind December Draw, who we'll talk about a little bit more later on. He finished 5th to Dane Dream at his last start in Germany. Dane Dream has come since then and won the Arc a couple of weeks ago. So that form really has held up, and he did carry a lot of weight when he raced in Germany. Doesn't carry as much on Saturday.
Okay, Nick?
It's been well documented. He's had plenty of problems throughout the week. There's still a slight concern over a foot abscess. He might be a late scratching. Either way, it's not an ideal preparation at the Caulfield Cup. I don't care how good his form lines have been. You can't be missing work at the pointy end, and I think he's a risk for mine. Okay.
Bart Cummings going for 8 Caulfield Cups with number 6 Precedence, ridden by Steve Arnold, paying $31.
I thought his form was good up until the Turnbull, but his run in the Turnbull, Nick, got me worried.
I think if he wasn't trained by Bart Cummings, there'd be a 0 between the 3 and the 1 with his odds here. He's a 300 to 1 chance. He's not going anywhere near well enough to win a Caulfield Cup.
Okay, number 7, Hawk Island, trained by Chris Waller, ridden by Glenn Schofield, paying $26.
Look, his past couple of runs in Sydney have been good, including a placing in the Metropolitan Sydney. That's his most recent run, over 2,400 metres. But I'm not as keen on him.
Okay.
Oh, so hang on, you're doing more they can win and yet you're potting them. So what am I going to say? Stick up for it?
Continue to pot them.
No.
Okay. Look, I think there's a few better than Hawke Island in the race.
Okay, all right, we'll steer clear of Hawke Island then. Okay, number 8, Shoot Off, Queensland Derby winner this year, trained by Graham Rogerson, ridden by Karen McAvoy, and at $41.
He did return to form with his second place in the Craven Plate, so from a positive perspective, he looks like he's hitting form at the right time now.
Good.
My concern is that Graham Rogerson only trains feature Group 1 winners when John Sadler's actually training the horses.
I won't say anything more about that. Nat, December draw.
Okay, December draw, the odds-on favourite, and a horse that had a crack at jumps in the UK before coming here. Obviously trained by Mark Kavanagh, ridden by Michael Rodd, and at $2.35.
He's the one to beat. I can't fault his form. He was terrific in the Turnbull, really good in the naturalism. He's done everything right since he's been in Australia, and I don't care what the internationals have to say. You see horses who, Bow as an example, 3 years ago the internationals didn't rate him. He ran second, beaten a very narrow margin to Viewed in that year's Cup. So you've really got to see what horses from overseas settle in here okay, and they're the ones that do well. Forget about what they've done over there. He's done everything right here. He's the one they've got to beat.
I have to hear Nick say something negative about December draw.
It's a tough
thing to have to do.
Apart from myself, who do you think the best looking bloke in the world is, Natalie?
I wouldn't have thought Nick would be the best looking bloke in the world.
He's up there. Let's say Brad Pitt.
Okay. What's wrong with Brad Pitt from a physical point of view? What faults do you have with him?
That he's married to Angelina Jolie.
Well, it hasn't stopped you before. So anyway, but that would be a similar thing with December draw. I think it's very hard to find a criticism there.
All right. No, number 10, Sapta Party.
I was wondering where you were going with that one, Nick.
So was I, Edward, so was I.
Okay, trained by Brian Ellison, ridden by Mark Zara, paying $26.
We're going to do a swing around now where you pot them and I tip them, or should we keep going like this? I'm quite enjoying the negativity.
I'm starting to get into the negative mode, so I'm happy to pot Sapta Party. Not pot him, look, I would like to see how he goes on Saturday. He's not the sort of horse I'd like to back. He was caught wide last Saturday in the Herbert Power. Again, I'm unsure about the quality of the form of that race, the quality of the local horses in that race. Even though it is a weaker Caulfield Cup, I still think it's a bit better, this Caulfield Cup, than the Herbert Power was on Saturday. I'd rather just see him go around and then evaluate from a Melbourne Cup perspective after then.
Cool. Absolutely. I thought he ran well in the Herbert Power though, and the extra distance is only going to suit, so I think has got a sneaky little chance for the multiples. Yeah. Okay,
and this is Brian Ellison's first runner in this race in 6 years, is that right?
Yeah, he had Cart Diamond in it 6 years ago.
How did that go?
Ran okay, but of course had the famous incident in Flemington, Breakfast with the Stars. I don't know if you were there, Nick, that day when he crashed through the running rail, I think, and that was back in the days when they had the aluminium rails. So he's okay, the horse. In fact, Brian said that he's trotting around his yard in the UK like a stallion, but it obviously not a pleasant occurrence.
No, not at all. All right, number 11, Tullamore Gay, going for back-to-back Caulfield Cups, ridden by Craig Newitt and paying $17.
Big chance. Big chance.
Big chance?
Big chance, this horse.
I think his form's only been fair. I went through the replay of the Metropolitan last night, actually, as I was doing my prep for the show, and I thought he was just average in the race.
I think there's a big chance. Good each way bet tomorrow. I think all the conditions are going to suit, and I think we'll see big improvement from this horse.
Okay, that's a good wrap. All right, number 12, Absolutely. One of 3 Michael Kent runners in the race, ridden by Brad Rawiller and paying $15.
Her form's been okay leading into the race, but Nick, I don't think it's been good enough to win a Caulfield Cup.
In her defence, she's a Group 1 winner last campaign. I think she'll improve again on Saturday. The problem for mine is the barrier 22.
Okay, it's time for us to take a break, and when we come back, we'll look at the remainder of the field for the BMW Caulfield Cup for 2011. You're watching Chewing the Fat, thanks to Sportingbet.
Sportingbet is built by punters for punters, so you get the very best experience. At Sportingbet, you can expect more from the latest in customised betting with black books, favourites and iForm. Plus, Sporting Bet covers all the exotics, including trifectas, quinellas, exactas and first four. Bet fast online or at sbet.mobi on your mobile, anytime, anywhere. That's why there's no better bet than a Sporting Bet.
Austbrokers Bloodstock. For horse owners, by horse owners. With all the answers to protect your investment, Austbrokers work for you to provide the right cover and the best value. And most importantly, they're in your corner when you make a claim. Austbrokers' business is built around relationships. That's why our clients have been with us for so long. Horses are not just our business, they're our life. Why not talk to one of our team today? Call us on 029 570 8355 or go to our website bloodstockinsurance.com.au. Austbrokers, young faces, years of experience.
Saptapati runs in the Caulfield Cup on Saturday. What did you think of his performance last week?
Well, we just barrier on the outside, barrier 16, and we got too far back and too wide. But I think he's improved for the run, so hopefully get a nice draw on Saturday and he'll run well.
Speaking to Damien Oliver yesterday about Manigaran, he was saying there's great improvement in this horse compared to last year. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, his performances have shown that. He's a bigger, stronger, mentally more mature horse this year, so we'll hope for a big run.
And Drunken Sailor, big raps about him this time around.
Yeah, look, things didn't go right last year. He had a sore foot just before Caulfield, so he couldn't run there, and then Geelong didn't work out, and he probably just wasn't quite right when it came to the Queen Elizabeth on the final Saturday. So look, we're hopeful that he shows his performances that he has in England on the track here in Australia.
Mighty High runs in the Caulfield Cup on Saturday. What did you think of his performance last week?
I think it was a very good run. They went slow early on. The sectional was a bit slow for him, and then when they let down on at the 400 metres, he was kind of left a bit flat-footed because European horse, they tend to not have that sprinting ability like Australian horses have. But we're real happy with his run. He's progressing in the right direction and should have a big run on the Saturday.
Favourite December draw. How's he heading into the big race?
Well, he's good. Everything's fine with him. We're quite happy. So he's worked well this week.
And a few of the international connections have expressed a little bit of surprise that December draws such a hot favourite for the Caulfield Cup after seeing him over in England. Does that just reflect what a brilliant job you've done with him?
I don't know about that. Look, it's pretty interesting of their opinion here that certainly when they're all in England together, like December draw wouldn't even be considered for any race. So they believe that their horses are certainly far superior, or they were over there anyway. So we've just got to wait and see.
Welcome back to Chewing the Fat. It's time to take a look at the remainder of the field for the 2011 BMW Caulfield Cup. We're up to number 13, Dream Peddler, the Bendigo Cup winner last year, trained by Troy Blacker, ridden by Chris Simons and paying $101. What do you think of this one, Nick?
Well, I now have to find why this horse can win, which is a little bit of a difficult task.
At $101?
Yeah, I think we'll appreciate the distance. Right. Probably the wide barrier is not a help, and yes, that's probably all the positives I can come up with. Edward.
I thought the JRA Cup that he won, Nick, the scheduling of the racing at that weekend when you had the grand final and then you had the Saturday, the Metropolitan, and the JRA Cup on the Friday night, the Turnbull and the Bart Cummings on the Sunday, meant that the JRA Cup suffered as a result. I thought it was a fairly poor renewal of the race, which he won. I don't think it tells us much about I don't think it tells us much about the horse. I don't think it is a good sign going into the race. A win's a win, but he beat 5 or 6 other horses in the race.
One thing I will say though, look, I'll try and be a bit more positive. El Segundo won the race and started a hot favourite in the Caulfield Cup and flopped. And Cosmonaut, who he beat home that night, came out and won impressively at Caulfield on Wednesday. So they're two probably.
Cosmonaut won, a handicap at Caulfield on Wednesday? This is a handicap, yes, but this is a Group 1 handicap.
True, but I am trying to find positive reasons for 100 to 1 in a Group 1 race.
I have to find the negatives here. And with Dream Peddler with no offence to the connections or anything.
Oh, they'll take big offence.
It's quite easy to do that.
Number 14, Niwot, trained by Team Hawks, who won this race 6 years ago, ridden by Dean Yendall and paying $61. Nick?
I thought Niwot hit the line very nicely at Flemington last start, and he'll stay all day and could be another sneaky chance at huge odds for your trifectas and first fours.
I agree with you there, Nick. He's a good stayer. He won the Andrew Ramsden in the middle of the year this year. But the barrier draw, he's drawn out wide. I think that'll make it really tough for him. But I think he'll probably go back and look for him running on late. He's one for the first fours.
Number 15, Domsky, or Doomsky, as you call him. Another Michael Kent runner, ridden by Brenton Avdallah and paying $101.
Didn't have a lot of luck in the Cranbourne Cup. And that's probably all the positives I can find for Doomsky in the Caulfield Cup.
He's simply not good enough.
All right, moving right along to number 16, Green Moon, the Newcastle Cup winner, trained by Robert Hickmont, ridden by Nick Hall and paying $11.
Yeah, and this horse is an absolute live chance from Lloyd Williams' horse. So Lloyd's got a great record with his horses in big races. Caulfield Cup hasn't been a race he's shown a lot of attention to in recent years, so Green Moon, very impressive win last start. The start before that chase time December draw, I think Green Moon can definitely give Lloyd Williams the Caulfield Cup.
He's drawn out wide, and the other issue is, for mine anyway, he's had a month between runs, whereas we've seen nearly all of these other horses more recently than that.
All right. Number 17, Macedonian from the Peter Moody stable, ridden by Luke Nolan and paying $81.
When was the last time you saw a horse trained by Peter Moody, ridden by Luke Nolan, over a suitable distance, go around $81? It's very attractive odds. Probably lacks a little bit of class, but don't be surprised if Big Pete Moody can do something special yet again.
But I didn't feel Nicky did enough last Saturday in the Herbert Power. He's the sort of horse that gets a long way back in his races and does make up ground, but it's tough to win Caulfield Cups like that. As we mentioned earlier on in the preview, your Caulfield Cup winner is generally a horse that will race on the pace, or at least no worse than midfield. As a rule of thumb anyway, he'll probably go back towards the end of the field, run on, but I don't think he'll win the Caulfield Cup.
All right, what about number 18, Southern Speed, attempting to become the first mare in 10 years to win the Caulfield Cup, trained by Leon McDonald, ridden by Craig Williams and paying $15.
Her form's been really good. She ran second to Lion Tamer in the Underwood and then ran fourth to December Draw on the Turnbull, and I thought that was a good run on the Turnbull.
Hang on, you're doing a little swing around here. You're tipping them. No, I'm happy to pot her.
Okay.
I got the roles reversed there, Nat. Sorry, a bit confused.
That's how we know when you really like a horse.
No,
he was very keen then, wasn't he?
Bad word.
That was, look, as I mentioned, I didn't have anything negative to say about the horse because, as Nat mentioned, history's the only negative I could really come up with. That, and she finished behind December Draw last time. How could things change since then? They're the only two negatives, but she's going really well. But Nick, you can wrap a bit more than that.
Maybe a good each way bet, do you think?
Definitely.
He's too good though, isn't he? I said before I go now, do you want to tip? Do you want to, give positive comments for the top 9 or the bottom 9? He couldn't have said the top 9 quickly enough.
I know.
There's not many good ones down the bottom, and he's stolen one of my... What a slitherer.
So what do you think?
I think Southern Speed is a live chance, has been very well backed since the barrier draw on Tuesday. Reasons why she can't win. It's been a long time since a mare's won the race, and I'm more than happy, just like you on a Saturday night, Edward, to stick with the boys.
He's very harsh there, Nat.
That's below the belt.
That's the other thing I thought I should mention too. He's stealing your material as well, by the way.
Yeah, big
he mentioned the mare factor there.
Yeah, that was I said that. She's the first mare in 10 years.
Well, I'm learning from the best.
All right.
She's untried at the distance. That's the other point.
Okay, well, I'm backing her because I think she can do it for the girls. Okay, down to the business end. Let's talk selections. Nick, who have you gone for?
I've gone for December Draw. I think Mark Kavanagh's going to top a brilliant week by winning the Caulfield Cup. I've got Green Moon from the Lloyd Williams team in for second.
Oh.
I've got Gay Waterhouse Galloper Tullamore in for third at a little bit of odds. And my best roughie in the race is Shoot Off.
Okay.
What about yourself, Edward?
I think that's one great thing about this year's Caulfield Cup is that although we all agree that we think December Draw will win the race, outside of him, it's a fairly open race. So I've gone for December Draw to win. Mighty High, I've liked his 2 runs since he's been here. I've put him in for second. Southern Speed, as you saw before, I was giving her a rap. I think she'll run a place. And Manigar is my roughie.
Okay.
All right, but just let the punters now get a chance to get their pen and their pad, or if they're watching online, just scroll back a little bit.
I would have thought, Nick, after all the winners Nat's tipped, the punters are used to just getting the laptop and having beside it the pen and paper, because after all of the winners Nat's tipped,
let's be honest,
they're fairly wealthy.
All right, what are you going to steer the punters into, Nat?
All right, well, I'm a little bit too nervous to go for anything other than December Draw. So December Draw, I've gone for Lucas Grenache, Tullamore, and my best roughie, Manigar.
Okay, nothing too left field then. No, I'm very happy with that.
Okay, all right, good. All right, stick around, because after the break, we're going to have a look at the remainder of the 2011 BMW Caulfield Cup program. You're watching Chewing the Fat.
Sporting Bet is built by punters for punters, so you get the very best experience. At Sporting Bet, you can expect more from the latest in customised betting with black books, favourites and iForm. Plus, Sporting Bet covers all the exotics, including trifectas, quinellas, exactas and first four. Bet fast online or at sbet.mobi on your mobile, anytime, anywhere. That's why there's no better bet than a Sporting Bet.
Welcome back. Race 5 is the Group 2 Perry Cutton Caulfield Sprint over 1,100 metres and the very exciting return of Sepoy. Let's have a look at the market thanks to Sporting Bet. So Sepoy is the hot favourite at $1.35, followed by Midsummer Music at $10, Buffering at $11, Curtana $15, Decision Time at $18 and $21 or better the rest.
Sorry, Nat, I wasn't paying attention. What was the name of the race again?
It's the Perry Cutton Caulfield Sprint, actually, Nicholas.
Very good, and the only thing better than your pronunciation is definitely Sepoy. He was brilliant at Moonee Valley last start, and I think he's clearly the one to beat again.
Couldn't agree more with you, Nick. We disagree at times, but that one I do agree with. He's an incredibly exciting horse, Sepoy. You know, one of the better 3-year-olds I've seen in my time of racing. Not that that's very long. But no, he's a terrific horse, Sepoy. I do like Midsummer Music. She's the sort of horse you'd love to have, because whenever she comes to the races, she brings her best. She always runs a good race, but she'll run into one better than her Sepoy. And the other Peter Moody runner in the race, Curtana, ran a terrific race in the Gilgai when hit the front, probably a fraction too early. She was run down the last 100 metres or so by Response and the winner, Temple of Boom. But look, she's another good place chance in the race.
Okay.
From a punting perspective, I think a lot of viewers will say Sepoy $1.35, maybe a little bit short. I think the best way to make $1 out of this is for our friends at Sporting Bet Australia have put up $7 on a special where you can take Sepoy, More Joyous, December Draw. All three have got a win. I think that'll happen. I think $7 is a good bet.
What's the name of this terrific bet?
Well, I spoke to Bill Richmond from Sporting Bet Australia before, and he said he was going to have something along the lines with chewing a winner or the punters get the fat. So something to do with chewing the fat.
Oh, good.
And how do we do it? Just go on the internet?
Just go on the internet, find it, click, have a couple of large on, and you're away and racing.
I don't have very much money left in my Sporting Bet account, but I will do that.
I would have thought you have the most of anyone. You've been the best tipster in Australia.
We only talk about the winners, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, it does look a good way to build a bank for Caulfield Cup Day and hopefully going forward for the spring. Edward, I believe you were out and about having a chat to the trainers?
Yeah, before you jump on Sporting Bet, let's just have a listen to what the trainers had to say. Midsummer Music runs in the Caulfield Sprint. She's been a terrific mare.
Been terrific, raced well all winter, had a little bit of a freshen up. Obviously we're taking on a class galloper in Sepoy, but this leads her towards something like the Salinger at Flemington, where she seems very good up the straight, so not expecting her to trouble Sepoy, but if she can run home and fill a place or be just behind the place getters, I'll be more than happy.
All right, boys, selections for this one?
Sepoy.
Sepoy's a moral, yep.
Guess what I've gone with? Sepoy.
Would that be a Chewing the Fat first, Nick, that the three of us have all gone for the one horse? I think the only other time we did that was Black Caviar last week.
No, Chase the Rainbow. Chase the Rainbow. And December draw.
Okay.
So pay attention, please, son. She's your cousin.
Hey, I'm up early. That's why my mental focus sort of drifts off by the time we get to filming Chewing the Fat, because I've been at track work.
All right, moving right along.
Okay, race 9 is the Group 2 Durban Tristarc Stakes over 1,400 metres. A cracking field in this race. Let's have a look at the market thanks to Sportingbet. Okay, starting off with More Joyous, who's the favourite at $2.20, Sister Madly at $3.80, Born to Rock and Response at $11, Sistine Angel $17, Booklet $18 and $21 or better the rest.
I'm going More Joyous.
What?
Are you?
You've got your dad training the other favourite, Sister Madly.
And she's going terrifically as well, Nick. But I think More Joyous, as I said to Simon Zara this morning, I think she's the second best mare in Australia, and you don't need to be a genius to figure out who is the best mare in Australia. I think she might have been a tad unlucky in the Manikato. I think the step up to 1,400 will suit. She won the Futurity over this track and distance earlier in the year. I think she'll be the one to beat.
What is
but Sister Madly, I think, look, should take those two in a Quinella, even though it won't pay a heap. I think those two are a little bit better than the rest of them. Response is a very good mare. Flew home the Gilgai, and the other Adam Zara horse, Booklet's also going very well.
Well, what do you think his dad thinks when he does
Well, I think either two things. One, he's going to be in big trouble when he gets home tonight. Or two, I've got the old now son, Sister Madly is flying. She will win Saturday, but I don't want you knocking the odds off by tipping it to everyone.
See, that's what happened the first time Sister Madly ran and we spoke about it.
That's right. You declared Sister Madly a good thing, and she was
declared her the best bet of the day.
$7.50 into $4 on track. So
guess whose money that was? Not mine. Looking over there.
hello.
It's long gone now, I can assure you. But, look, you touched on the Quinella. You said it might be too short. Any price is a good price if it's a winning price. Look at last week, Tambi and she won Quinella. People go, what's that going to pay? Paid $7.80. So just back the winner. The value will take care of itself.
And we caught up with plenty of the connections with runners in this year's Tristarc Stakes. Troy, Sister Madly runs in the Tristarc Stakes at Caulfield on Saturday. How'd she come through the run of the Manikato?
Yeah, really well, Edward. She's done super since that, and we're very pleased with her going into Saturday.
Were you surprised how well she ran in the Manikato?
Not really, no. We expected her to run really well. Didn't expect Sepoy to run quite that well, so we were hoping that, more hoping than anything, we sort of thought that More Joyous might be a little bit vulnerable first up, which she was, and I just think our mare sort of ran to what we know she can do.
In the Tristarc Stakes, you got three runners. Start off with Response, who flew home the Gilgai.
Yeah, super run in the Gilgai, probably went a fraction early. Had a really good blow after it, and the winners come from behind her. So we're pleased. She's tightened right up. We've given her a fair bit of work over the last couple of weeks, and really, really happy with the way she's going.
And Lucha Libra, she comes down here to Melbourne. How's she settled in?
Yeah, settled in fine. Galloped here on the course proper this morning. Nice bit of work. She goes into the 1,400 on Saturday. She's actually in two. The idea is to run against the mares. I think the best two mares in there will probably be too good for her. But once again, it'll give us a bit of a look as to where she actually does fit and what might be the best option for her going forward.
All right, so let's recap our selections. Edward?
I thought I made it obvious, Nat.
You did make it quite obvious. Okay, so you've gone with More Joyous.
I'm still with More Joyous as well. What about yourself, Nat?
I'm actually going to go for Dysphonia.
Ooh, can I ask why?
No, you can't actually. Yeah, just had a little bit of a tip-off.
Okay.
I think Dysphonia is the one to beat.
I wonder if our guest, whispered something in her ear as he wandered out this morning.
He wouldn't be the first guest to whisper something.
Edward Sadler.
Good God. Okay, well, if he did whisper something in my ear, I wouldn't tell you anyway. So there you go. Dysphonia it is for me. All right, race 6 is the Group 3 Betfair Stakes over 1,400 metres. A really good field here. Let's have a look at the market again, thanks to Sportingbet. Okay, so Love Conquers All at $4.60. That's your favourite, isn't it, Edward?
Big Love Conquers All fan, very consistent horse.
Verena Miss at $6.50. Pinwheel at $8. Launay at $9. Elbert the Fat, $9. Speediness at $10. And Utah Saints at $11.
I'm sticking with Love Conquers All here. I know I've gone for the 3 favourites so far, Nick, but wait till we get to the best bets section of our show today, Nat, because I will be sticking my head on the chopping block for a change.
Oh, okay.
I won't have splinters this time. No, Love Conquers All, really good horse. Comes to Melbourne in good form. Good runs in Sydney last couple of times. Just looking down the page, Verena Miss, terrific run in the Gilgai. She got well back and she came home very well to finish 5th in that race. Pinwheel's a terrifically consistent horse from the same stable. Lunet had a nice trial at Cranbourne about a week and a half ago. And look, Utah Saints is the only other runner in the race that I like. I don't know why he's at $11 because his form has been so good and he's beat horses that have come out and won since then. He does pull in his races, which is why he's a miler at his best, but it's why he's been kept to the 1400 sort of distance range. But I think he's a really good chance as well, and I like him for a bit of value.
Oh, good. Yeah, well, at $11, that's exciting. Nick, what do you think?
I don't think we pot you for tipping favourites. It's like last week a few weeks ago, when we said give us a tip in the Metrop and you mentioned 16 horses.
Oh, well, he was being thorough.
It was an open Metrop.
Yeah, did you find the winner?
I was watching the grand final that day.
No, I did ask if you saw the winner. Did you find the winner? Anyway, I'm going to go with Verena Miss. Has already been very well backed. Was a moral beaten last start. The more you bet, the more you win on an each-way basis here.
Another Nick Quinn plunge coming off on Saturday.
Oh, there we go. Okay, now, Edward, you caught up with some of the contenders in the race?
Yeah, caught up with some of the contenders, Flemington and Caulfield this week. In the Betfair Stakes, we've got 2 runners, Amathon and Utah Saints, both who are performing well.
Yeah, well, Utah's on the backup. He likes Caulfield and he's probably badly weighted last week and maybe Chris should just let him slide a touch, but he's backed up well in the past and, I think he'll be pretty competitive.
And Amathon?
Going well. He won really well first up and we've sort of kept him nice and fresh, and which is the best way to have him. And, it's a pretty handy race, but we'll get a guy where he's at and, if he can perform up to that, we'll head to the Emirates.
Wayne, big weekend of racing coming up. First of all, Love Conquers All runs in the Betfair Stakes. What did you think of his last up run?
Yeah, his run the other day was pretty good. He was back on the inside when maybe the inside wasn't that good at Randwick, but he's travelled down well and he's well, so he'll run pretty good, drawing a good barrier, and the pilot goes okay, D. Beedman too, so things are okay.
Doubtful Jack and Rathira run in the Betfair Stakes. Doubtful Jack with a return to form at Mornington last time.
Yeah, he found the wet conditions to suit at Mornington the other day, and that's probably what he needs to win at this level these days. If there is any given the ground, genuine dead to slow, he'll be ultra competitive, 1400, although he does probably save his best form for Flemington. Rathira, I thought, was good first up the straight. His last 400 was very good. Didn't quite know where he was at his first trip up there, but finished the race off very well. And he's another that needs probably soft ground to be winning at this level. So Doubtful Jack will probably be on or about the speed. Rathira's out the back and strong late. So wet tracks are key to their chances, and if they get a genuine soft surface, they can both run well.
So just recapping our bets for the Betfair Stakes. Nick, you've gone with Verena Miss. Edward, Love Conquers All. And I've gone for Helmet the Fat.
Why is that, Nat?
Oh, I just like Helmet the Fat. I think he can win.
Remind you of a particular TV show you might have liked growing up?
Maybe you're right, Edward. Maybe that is why I like him, but I have a good feeling about Helmet the Fat, so I'll be backing him.
Well, your feelings have generally been paying off
Exactly.
so far, Nat.
All right, that takes care of the feature races at Caulfield. For all the latest markets, go to sportingbet.com.au. We'll take a break. You're watching Chewing the Fat, thanks to Sportingbet.
BMW Caulfield Cup, October 15, Spring's pinnacle of racing. Pre-book tickets now.
The Cox Plate is really starting to take shape. Nick, you've been sitting in King's Rose Corner. Are you still there?
Oh, look, I don't see why not. King's Rose hasn't put a foot wrong this campaign. 2 impressive wins and chased home King Mufasa at Caulfield last Saturday after having a few little problems. So, not jumping off King's Rose, but gee, Helmet's just really come out of nowhere and has emerged as a genuine contender, and it was clear how confident Paul Snowden is going into the race.
Very confident. Okay, well, Helmet, let's have a look at an early market. Thanks to Sporting Bet. Helmet is at $3.30. Jimmy Choo at $4, Atlantic Jewel at $5, Lion Tamer at $10, Glass Harmonian at $11, Desperado $13, as well as Rekindled Interest, Secret Admirer at $15, and King's Rose and Sincero at $21.
It's obviously a busy time of year at the moment with all the functions that are going on, and I think one of the best functions is the Club 2040 lunch out at Moonee Valley, and Chewin the Fat caught up with founder Adam Palmer.
Adam, the 2040 Club's a great initiative. Tell us all about it.
Oh, look, it's stemmed from our first very function here 4 years ago. We started off a Cox Plate lunch. Miracle Mel came down from Sydney. It was a tremendous success. We've grown it from sort of 80 people 4 years ago. This year we'll have 800 down at the Docklands in Melbourne for the Cox Plate lunch. So it came about from that. We had a lot of businesses that were business owners that were quite fanatical about racing. So we thought of this concept of the 2040 Club, hang events throughout the year with a bit of a racing theme, and the response has been fantastic, beyond expectations.
We're here today at Satay Jacks, and as you said, a great cross-section of people here. We've got trainers, jockeys, and a lot of different people from the industry.
Yeah, no, that's right. Look, we've got a few preferred partners that are within the industry, so Elton's R Racing, Malure Racing, Princess Park up in the Gambia, which is our business. Tom Waterhouse has been a fantastic support the whole way through it. But aside from that, we've got a lot of other businesses in the crew. So business people that are have accounting practices, have legal firms that are really keen to sort of get amongst it, get some money can't buy experiences and get to know the people in the racing game.
You mentioned your Cox Plate lunch, which is very well known. You also do quite a number of other events and even syndicate horses.
Yeah, look, I lead the syndicating to Brad Spice as a preferred partner of ours. We break in pre-trained horses. There's just so many, and thing with the whole concept, people get to know each other, they become friends, and no surprises that they start doing business with each other. So it's been, I think that's the main reason for the growth of the whole 2040 Club. People getting to know each other, enjoying each other's company, and then you start doing business with each other.
How do people get involved?
Look, the best way to do it, check out the 2040 Club website, 2040club.com.au. Membership's free at the moment. Get invites to all our events that we're holding throughout 2012. We're set for a bumper year in 2012. Should be great fun.
There's limited tickets still available for that lunch, so make sure you go to their website. And Edward, I believe you've got a special role on the day.
Yeah, I'll be doing the Phantom Call of this year's Cox Plate, so really looking forward to being there, Nat, and looking forward to meeting hopefully many of our Chewing the Fat viewers there next Friday.
That's exciting.
Will you be attending, Natalie?
I'd love to go along. I'd love to hear the call.
Well, then those tickets that are available won't be around for much longer, I'm guessing.
No, that's very true. I'll have to log on to the website when I get home. We'll stick around because when we come back, we're going to be reading your emails and wrapping up a big day of racing on Saturday. See you soon.
Sporting Bet is built by punters for punters, so you get the very best experience. At Sporting Bet, you can expect more from the latest in customised betting with black books, favourites and iForm. Plus, Sporting Bet covers all the exotics, including trifectas, quinellas, exactas and first four. Bet fast online or at sbet.mobi on your mobile, anytime, anywhere. That's why there's no better bet than a Sporting Bet.
Well, they say what goes around comes around, and I fear I'm about to get my comeuppance as we read out the Chewing the Fat letters for the week. If you've got anything you'd like to say, anything you'd like to contribute, please feel free to contact us at feedback@chewingthefat.com.au. And Edward, would you like to get the letters started this week?
I will. First one is from Nikki from Diamond Creek. Hi guys, love the show and great to see some young faces promoting racing. Thank you, Nikki. Thought Bree was great last week, but love Natalie as well. Go girls. And this last one I've got to read is from Xavier from Drummoyne in New South Wales. Chewing the Fat, looking at some doubles for the Cups. Any suggestions? Well, I'm going to start off. I really like the run of Moy and Kanish. So for a bit of value to throw into that Cups double, I'd suggest going December draw into Moy and Kanish. But to be really honest, I still think it's too early for a proper pick for the Melbourne Cup.
Oh, I think you can take the $21 December draw into Lucas Cranich and $44 on December draw into Absolutely. They'd probably be the
It
two.
sounds like you've done a bit of homework on the topic, though, Nick.
Did you read that email before just now?
No, I like to be on top of my Cups doubles markets.
Oh, good. All right, well, I'm going to read my emails now. Ready, Edward?
I'm ready. I'm
Okay.
really looking forward to this. This is a moment we've all been waiting for.
Charlotte from Cheltenham writes in and says, "Hi guys, love the show. Just wondering if Nick Quinn was going to be at the Caulfield Cup."
They wanted to relive a particular Caulfield Cup moment, and I'm not talking about Elvstrom winning either.
Oh, hello, really?
Well,
Have a look at how ready
Charlotte must be the name we've used today, because I've got one in front of me from a Charlotte as well that says, "I'm not sure what's cuter, Nick Quinn's smile or his hair." So, but yeah, so that's working
Charlotte's
beautifully.
keen, Nick.
Well,
yeah, she's keen.
And I like her because she goes after what she wants. She's not holding back. She's written in. She's being proactive.
Well, speaking of going after what they want, I've got one here, Natalie.
I
you
have
might be
another one.
interested in.
Yeah.
Oh, you go first.
Okay,
then,
my
Natalie.
other ones. Aaron from Point Cook, who writes, "Hi Nat, looking at going to a few days during the carnival and wondering if you can give me a few tips on what to wear." Okay, well,
I would have thought, Nat, for the guys, it's pretty straightforward. You just suit up. I think it's more complicated for the girls.
It is a little bit more complicated for the girls, but guys can still manage to look different from each other. But, you know, you're all wearing a suit. But I like a lighter colour shirt and tie because we are going into warmer weather. But you know what I really like?
A bit of praise there for Nick and a bit of criticism for me there.
No, but it's not. We're not quite there yet. So maybe on Derby Day you can wear something a little bit more colourful. But I really like tie clips for guys this season. They're all the rage overseas. So a little clip on your tie. Okay. It's another accessory you can add to your outfit to make yourself look a little bit different. And the flower of the day, of course.
Nick just goes for hair products. That's his fashion accessory.
Yeah, exactly. All right,
Yes,
Nick,
yes.
go on.
Well, I've got one from Craig
I
from
bet you
Byron Bay.
Off you go.
Who said, "Would you believe I was in Fiji last week and stayed in the same hotel as Natalie Hunter?"
Really?
It was obviously
Did
a
he get an
huge
autograph,
thrill.
Nat? Or?
Yeah, he came up and said, "Chewing the Fat's my favourite show. I'm a big fan of Nick Quinn."
Yeah, well, that's not what he's written here.
Wow.
He said, obviously it was a huge thrill, but can you please ask Natalie why it was 30 degrees and at 10 in the morning she was walking back to the hotel in the clothes she was wearing the night before with shoes in hand?
Oh, I don't ever take my shoes off and walk bare feet. Not even.
What about after a big day at the races?
No way.
When you've been there since 10 in the morning?
That is not a good look. All right, guys, we've given you all our tips for the feature races for Saturday, but let's have a look at our best bets and our best roughies. Starting with you, Nick, you've gone for race 9, number 1, More Joyous as your best bet. Edward, race 7, number 4, Paddy O'Reilly. And I've gone for Melbourne, race 7, number 1, Booming as my best
I'm
bet.
just going to, as a disclaimer, Nat, Paddy O'Reilly's my best each way bet.
Each way, okay.
So-
Just put that in there just in case. Okay, best roughies. Melbourne race 3, number 5, Quench the First. For you, Nick, I've gone with race 9, number 4, Dysphonia as my best roughie. And Edward, race 6, number 11, Utah Saints.
You gave it a wrap before, Nat, and I think you'll run a very good race on Saturday.
All right, good.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, it's a very, very exciting race program at Caulfield tomorrow with 10 races, so make sure you get out there. It's just going to be sensational. But before you jump on the train and head out, add us as a friend on Facebook at Chewing the Fat Racing. If you're lucky, Natalie will accept and like a few of your comments. And follow us on Twitter at Chewing the Fat Oz.
And make sure you tune in next week because this episode's been fantastic, but next week's going to be just as good. We have a very special Cox Plate special. And Bree is going to be back here joining you guys on the couch, so that'll be exciting.
Where have you been at?
I will actually be in Tasmania on assignment next week.
Aren't you two cousins?
Yeah.
Okay,
oh,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Okie doke. A special thanks to Paul
That's a low
Snowden.
blow there,
He's
Nick.
too. Special thanks to Paul Snowden for joining us today, and of course to you, Edward, and not so much you, Nick. But anyway, we'll sign off now and lead you with a build-up and a bit of a colour package leading into the Caulfield Cup this weekend.
December draw. Mark Kavanagh will be the shortest price favourite in Caulfield Cup history. Barrier 11 for the favourite December draw. Pretty high, number 1 to start from. Barrier 1. Barrier 1. So barrier 6 for Sep the Party.
This program is proudly brought to you by Sporting Bet.
This has been a Thorough Media production.